let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
As John F. Kennedy assumed the presidency in 1961, he inherited an all-or-nothing defense policy. It provided only two military options for dealing with the Soviet threat: do nothing and let the diplomats work it out, or launch an all-out nuclear attack against the communist bloc. Humiliation or Holocaust? President Kennedy demanded more options, a middle ground. A new defense policy emerged known as flexible response. It called for a massive buildup in conventional forces, as well as new tactical and strategic nuclear arms. It also emphasized counterinsurgency and other unconventional military operations for dealing with threats in the Third World. With this diverse arsenal, the president and his advisors believed it would be possible to fight a limited war with the Soviets, even a limited nuclear war, without igniting a world-ending apocalypse. This premise was tested by the major Cold War crises of the early 1960s. Kennedy encountered his first international challenge after just 3 months in office. Just 90 miles from the beaches of Florida, a military dictator had seized power in Cuba. Fidel Castro promised his people,
not communism or Marxism, but representative democracy, social justice, and a well-planned economy.
But U.S. leaders feared the worst. Castro looked like a communist and talked like a communist. He was a liability. In April 1961, plans were set in motion for an armed invasion of Cuba. The covert mission took its name from the main landing ground on the Bay of Pigs. The CIA had armed and trained a band of Cuban exiles for the covert operation. President Kennedy approved the plan, but then he crippled the operation by refusing air and naval support. The invasion force was crushed. The Kennedy administration humiliated. Attorney General Robert Kennedy feared that the Soviet Union would seize on the Bay of Pigs as a sign of weakness. He warned his brother, "If we don't want Russia to set up missile bases in Cuba, we had better decide now what we are willing to do to stop it." Following the Bay of Pigs, the U.S. imposed economic sanctions on Cuba. Castro appealed to the Soviet Union for aid. For Khrushchev, it was a coup, a communist outpost in America's own backyard. What could be better? Khrushchev's elation sprouted into a germ of an idea. What if we threw a hedgehog down Uncle Sam's pants?